beautiful, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Midi. We're going to be talking about braid locks today. The advantages and disadvantages of braid locks and the type of hair that is best suitable for braid locks. Braid lock is one of the methods that you can start your locks with. There are different types of ways that you can start locks, and braid lock seems to be like one of the easiest, the fastest, and the most convenient way to start lock. And so the disadvantages of braid locks, however, is that the braid pattern takes a very long time for it to disappear from your hair and for your hair to begin to look locked. And this is one of the things that most people do not like. But if it is something that is going to be bothering you, then you can as well cut it off, just the braided part, after your hair must have grown out to the desired length that you want. And then braid locks usually appear flat on the head. You know, the braid pattern kind of looks flat like this, and then that is another thing that most people don't like. Okay, the third disadvantage of braid lock is that it does not swell. Okay, compared to the other method of braid lock, which is the two-strand twist, braid lock doesn't swell that much. Kind of retain the size that you started with. Okay, those are the three disadvantages of braid lock. But the advantages, however, seems to supersede the disadvantages. It kind of suits some type of hair. So number one advantage of braid lock is that if you have a very long hair and you desire to retain the length of your hair as you embark on the long journey, then you might want to consider braid lock. And braid lock does not shrink that much, so you kind of retain the length of hair you started with. And then if at all it's going to shrink, it's going to be like 20% compared to the 70% that two-strand twist shrink to. Then number two is that the rate at which the hair become fuzzy and frizzy is very minimal, just because the braid pattern lie parallel to one another, and so it does not allow much movement of the hair. Therefore, the frizz and the fuzzy look is minimal. Another one is that it is very easy to install. If you're going to be installing your locks yourself, the DIY, then braid lock is one of the easiest, the fastest, and most convenient way that you can lock your hair with. The most desirable disadvantage of braid lock that I have come to realize is that if you intend to carry your lock for just a couple of years, because it seems to be all over the place now that people are beginning to lose their hair, maybe due to one problem or the other. Challenges that is unique to individual. If you start your locks with braid locks, then it's going to be much easier for you to loosen it. Okay, there are some people that they just wanted to give it a rest, you know, maybe in terms of expenses or the type of work, the type of lifestyle that they have, and it does not, you know, afford them much time to, you know, take care of the hair, maintain it as much as they would want to. And so someone like that might want to just lock the hair for a while till they are able to, you know what to do next with it. The bigger the size of the braid, the easier it will be for you to loosen it after a while. Then another thing is that if you feel that, okay, you like the sound of braid locks, but you will want your hair to swell a bit, what you need to do then is for you to braid the hair a bit loosely instead of it to be so tight. If it is loose, then the movement of the hair out of the braid is going to be more, and so you're going to have more fuzzy, more frizz all over the place. Fuzzy hair, frizzy look has its own function. These are the hair that ends up locking up and making your hair to appear locked at the end of the day. The type of hair that is best suitable for braid locks are the loose coily hair, tightly coiled hair. For loose coily hair, they have unique characteristics that makes them a bit difficult to use other method of starter lock. Okay, like it is not as if other method cannot be you, but it's a bit tasky and your loctician is going to charge you. So this type of hair can incorporate both the advantages and disadvantages of braid lock. The unique characteristics of this hair is that number one, it is very slippery. Number two, it unravels easily. Number three, it has like fine to medium to coarse texture hair. So your hair could be loose and curly, and it could also be coarse. Okay, and then another thing is that it is prone to frizz. Just because the curl pattern of the hair are unique, they are different. Like the individual curl pattern of the hair is different. Like they curl in different directions. This is what makes the hair to appear full on the head. Okay, when you think of the advantages and disadvantages of braid lock, this is how you can incorporate braid lock into locking this type of hair. Number one, the frizzy characteristics of the hair is going to be reduced drastically if you use braid as your starter lock. Okay, and then because braid is tightly packed and it does not allow much movement of the hair, then the slippage that comes with this type of hair is also going to be minimal. Also, if the hair comes in medium to like coarse texture and it tends to be very bulky on the head, braid pattern is going to compact the hair. It's going to bring the hair together and keep it compacted. Okay, and then it will allow the hair to remain, flat, and the swell considerably minimal. Okay, the subsequent retie of the hair could be done by using the interlocking techniques. It is another method that keeps the hair compacted and tight. If you have that type of hair, then you have no problem using Braidlocs. Also, I feel that the thick, dense, kinky texture of hair that usually swells so much, if you don't want your hair to appear so bulky on your head, then you might want to consider Braidloc. And then another thing is that if you work in a corporate environment that requires your hair to be neatly packed, neatly arranged, Braidloc is going to allow much of that. Just because the frizz is minimal, the swell is minimal, and the shrinkage is also minimal. These are the advantages that you might want to consider if you work in such environments. Okay, another type of hair that I feel is best suitable for Braidloc is permed hair. Though permed hair does not really do well with braid, it is also going to be considerably better than the other type. Okay, if you use 2 strands to it as your starter lock with permed hair, then the amount of slippage that you are going to be experiencing it will be much. But if you use braid to start the hair, it's going to be minimal. But one thing that you might want to put into consideration is that because the braid pattern does not disappear for a very long time, then it's best that you cut off the braided pattern of the hair. But if you don't want to, you can as well leave it, because a lot of people are leaving it. But if you are more concerned with the locked hair appearing locked, then you might want to cut it off or not. Permed hair are straight, and then the slippage is more, and then the unraveling is going to be more. Okay, if you secure the tip of the hair that you braided, then the rate of unraveling is also going to be minimal like that. Just because the hair is permed, then the rate at which the braid pattern is going to disappear will be much more longer than it should. Okay.